Hi, welcome to Taking Care of Business. I'm the town supervisor, Nick D'Alessandro, and this is Councilman Tom Franco, and we're here to bring you Taking Care of Business, a show brought to you by the town of East Fishkill, where we spotlight selected businesses in town and show you what's going on.
Today we're at 1955 Route 52 Ivy Rehab, physical therapy. Why don't we go in and get fixed up?
Let's go. Here we are inside of Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy, and we're here with the director. Heidi, how are you today?
I am very good, thank you, Nick.
Thanks for having us here.
It's really nice to meet you guys.
This is great. What a wonderful facility. Can you give us a little background about Ivy Rehab?
Sure. So Ivy Rehab has been around since 2003, and they've grown exponentially in the last almost 20 years. They have upwards of 250 offices across several states.
Wow.
Yeah, we're actually rapidly expanding into Connecticut at the moment. Some of them are from takeovers, buying small businesses up and trying to, improve upon the things that they were already doing well. And some of them are starting brand new. So those are kind of exciting facilities. They actually, a lot of the brand new facilities are being linked with a clinic director like myself who is associated with the Hospital for Special Surgery, doing a Hospital for Special Surgery clinic of excellence. And they have some certain different equipment that some of the other clinics don't have, like an Alter-G running training machine. And so it's pretty interesting. We're really looking at new and different ways to move physical therapy into the future. Patients for that long time to see how they progress from maybe breaking their arm, being in a cast, getting some of their freedom and motion back, and then going back to, say, their job, their sport, whatever. And that was the part of it, the people component, the functional component, that I really felt was a big part of what I love as a clinician. So I actually ended up doing some volunteer hours at Putnam Hospital, and the story just kept on moving from there. And I have to say that it's inspired me at every step. Seeing someone who had had a stroke and being in a wheelchair when they come into the clinic, and 6 to 8 weeks later, with hard work and the right kind of care, they're maybe walking with a cane, and just seeing them light up from the functional gains that they get is really wonderful. It's something that, at the end of a hard day, when you're doing things that nobody loves, like the paperwork and the phone calls that come along with caring for people, those things really, they are what make me feel good about what I've done with my job. And here at Ivy, I've been practicing for 16 years now, and Ivy actually really models the type of integrity that I feel is super important in a healthcare job. It's one of the reasons why I like working for them so much.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid playing sports, when I got hurt, either the coach or my dad would be like, just, soak it in Epsom salt or rub some dirt on it, you'll get better. There was really no physical therapy back then.
Yep.
The importance of it I can certainly see now, certainly with my daughter who's had to go through it because she's an athlete.
Yep.
And you see a lot of these kids today that are getting hurt because sports seem to be more specialized and far more intense, and not just one season, but an entire year.
Yep.
So how many kids do you have that have to come through here, high schoolers or teenagers?
Our population is very diverse here. We do see a number of teenage and school age, college age athletes. We do a really great job of trying to specialize their care and training to get back to sport. But I would say our population is fairly older even. I would say maybe like just out of college up until your seniors. And we're training them on whatever drives them. So if you have a young baseball player who's playing only one season, but they're on a league over the summer, they're doing off-season training in the fall and winter, and then they're starting their spring ball training really hard come, say, end of February, beginning of March. We are definitely seeing a growing population of kids with overuse injuries, even early young surgeries where they're doing Tommy John or labral repairs and seeing either the orthopedist here or they're seeing orthopedists in the community. And we love watching their recovery, and again, tying back to that excitement that they get when they start seeing what they can start doing again.
Sure.
And oh, I went back to practice and I listened to what you said about throwing only for 45 minutes or throwing only 50 balls and doing it at a shortened distance, having these protocols.
That is so tremendous, because a lot of these kids, they need to hear it from a third party.
They do. They don't listen to their parents.
They don't listen to their parents.
And their coaches,
Never.
you know,
Don't we know?
their coaches want to push them, but
Right.
still have limitations. So it's exciting when they start to go back into sport again and they actually see where the therapy has helped them, the specific direction of strengthening the muscles of the rotator cuff. Or for a lot of, we were talking about baseball, a lot of young men and women actually struggle with mobility in their upper back. So we're working on your trunk, getting your flexibility
Correct.
and your strength there.
Right.
So we don't just treat one thing, we treat the whole body, the whole person,
Right.
That's great.
which is exciting. So.
Well, it's very rewarding. You have a very rewarding occupation, and I know that you and your fellow therapists have a lot of many years of experience.
Yep.
Who else do you work with?
So I have two physical therapists who are here. One is Jennifer Kelly, and the other one is Lori Barnum, and they're both residents of the community. They've been here a while, and they're very well known and loved among the community. I'm only here more recently, but I've been practicing in Putnam and Westchester for
Excellent.
more than a decade. And we have a really great team. We really gel. And when we're here with the patients, we have the music on, and we're talking, and we're encouraging patients to talk with each other about what they're going through and how their ailments maybe get under their skin,
Sure,
and how we as a social group in and of itself can actually lift each other up. It's really encouraging, and we all work as a team. I know my colleague, I know their patients, and they know mine,
Right.
and we try to create a seamless experience so that we can get our patients back to feeling better.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's really
Excellent.
good.
Yeah.
You know, right now it seems like we're starting to finally come out of the pandemic.
Yes.
Where you guys were able to stay open throughout the pandemic?
We were very lucky. Ivy as a company really buckled down on learning about each individual state's PPE regulations and restrictions, and keeping the clinic clean and sanitized and reducing our staff numbers. You know, unfortunately, every business really suffered from having to do some layoffs. But
Right.
as far as Ivy's concerned, as of the end of last year, I believe everybody that had been laid off was hired back, and everybody is going full bore. Ivy's actually been continually growing. I think we opened another 25 offices.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Even
excellent.
over the
Tremendous.
course of the pandemic. So in the last 2 years, we've continued to grow, which is really a testament to the hard work up at the top, but also at the ground level, where our clinicians are meeting the community members and really trying to help them feel better.
That's great. Everybody had to stay home and they still got hurt.
I
Come here to
know.
get
People
yeah.
get hurt no matter what, right?
It can
Well,
be anywhere.
You know, it's funny. I'm sure that
Home
people
projects.
are finding themselves at computers much more, or they were home taking care of their kids in different fashions because maybe they're not at summer camp, or
Right.
they couldn't participate in an after-school sport. And we're actually seeing a lot of, strangely enough, overuse injuries, because now people are, you know, looking down at their home computer screens because they're no longer traveling to work. And the kids are sitting in front of a computer screen
Sure.
doing remote learning with their teachers and their
Right.
friends from a distance. We did see quite a lot of injury coming from that, as well as, unfortunately, people who suffered from COVID. And luckily, we're able to come back from it, but still to this day have, you know, fatigue and some pain and
Wow.
difficulty
Wow.
keeping up the pace that they used to have, trying to get back to work, and feeling the physical and emotional struggle of, you know, the COVID,
Yeah.
the COVID virus.
So I see you have many different machines here, many different things to do for people who have different ailments. So according to whatever their injury is, then you tailor a program for them.
We do. I would say that we do have sort of like a program that we might start with when somebody comes in, depending on whether they've had surgery or just
Like a
have a
knee
sprain.
or a hip
A
or
knee or a
something,
hip.
right?
There's some protocol that we do have to follow if they've had surgery. But we might move people around and specialize things. So if I have somebody who comes in and they were in rehab because they had their hip replaced, they are here and they have, you know, 6 steps to get into their home, and it doesn't have a railing. And then once they're in their home, everybody around here has got a raised ranch or a colonial, because that's just what's around
Right.
here. And they have an additional 6 or 8 steps to get
Right.
into once they're in their home. And, you know, we practice those things that they need to make their lives easier and safer, because they, especially for somebody who's had surgery, it might have resulted from a fall. they might have broken their hip,
Right.
or they might have fallen and broken their wrist. We get ice around here. A lot of times we get the snowstorms in December, January, and February, and in March we see all those people with the broken arms.
Sure, I bet.
You know, and we're trying to address those fears because it's hard to get back to activity when you're afraid something's going to hurt you again.
Sure.
Yeah, so we try to tailor everybody's care directly to what makes them tick, you know?
Right, especially the seniors. The seniors need a
Especially
little
the
bit
seniors.
more help, I'm sure.
They do, for sure.
Heidi, can you explain to us direct access?
Yes, I can. So direct access is something that's it's a law that's put into practice since I've been out of school, but only a few states practiced it at first. New York was a front runner in it, but now most of them actually participate. So direct access is where a patient can actually come to a physical therapist, a licensed physical therapist, without a prescription from their physician. Within reason, of course. Obviously, if you've had surgery, you're already under the care of a physician. But say you're gardening or you're shoveling snow and you throw out your back. And you've had this problem before, but maybe you're just not getting over it. And you're finding that it's really getting in the way of your day and the safety of doing things around your home or at work, caring for your family. You can come to a practice like Ivy, and you can see a physical therapist as long as they've been practicing for more than 3 years, licensed in the state that you're coming to.
Okay.
You can see them, and we do an assessment, and we look to obviously rule out the more serious things. We're really concerned about the red flags. Maybe you have pain that runs down your leg, but you also have sensory loss. Maybe your reflexes test poorly. There could be other red flags in there that we want to maybe suss out, so that if we see those things, we say, okay, therapy can help you, but I think that we need to maybe send you to your primary caregiver to reassess whether or not you need maybe some medical examination that we are not capable of doing, such as x-rays, MRIs, CAT scans, those kinds of things, to make sure that we're really figuring out whether there's something dangerous going on in here. It's actually kind of a nice opportunity for us not only to get a patient in faster and to start their care and recovery quicker, but it's also a great opportunity for us to reach out to the community physicians and orthopedists, because then we're seeing a member of the community, we see that there's an issue, and we as professionals, we have like an inter-communication network that's a little easier to bypass than your regular person. Sometimes you call your physician, maybe you saw your primary caregiver, and they recommended you to see an orthopedist, but you know that you can't get in to see that orthopedist for a month, which is unfortunate, but it's common.
It happens.
It happens. We're all very busy. So sometimes what we can do is say, come to physical therapy first. Let's get you feeling a little bit better. Overall, our job is to help the patient, but in the end, looking at the healthcare community, we're actually reducing the insurance output of high costs. Maybe you're saving money by paying a lower copay, coming to physical therapy first. You're also, if you're starting to feel better, you don't need that MRI that costs thousands of dollars to perform.
Yes, they do.
You're not exposing yourself to unnecessary radiation if you don't need an X-ray. So, our schooling is such that we are really differential diagnosis parties to see if we can really help the patients. And, I can get on the phone and say, hey, Dr. So-and-so, I have your patient. I'm starting physical therapy, but I really see that there's something else going on here. Maybe they have a rotator cuff tear, or maybe they, they're testing positive for this, and I think there might be, the meniscus might have some damage. I think they need to see an orthopedist. I'm going to call so-and-so, and I'm going to direct that patient there and maybe get them in a little faster.
That's wonderful.
That communication.
That's really good.
Expert analysis to help them.
Sometimes when one practitioner can communicate the urgency with which a person needs additional care, it sort of squeaks the wheel, it gets the squeaky wheel some grease,
That's great.
and helps us move the patients in the right direction. And it benefits all of us, because then I'm directing business to a physician in the community.
Right.
I'm not taking away from that business. I'm promoting the patient, which is all that matters in the end. We are, as a community of medical practitioners, helping those patients to feel better.
That's great. And speaking of community, I know Ivy Rehab likes to be part of the community.
We do.
Right.
So this past spring, we have a lot of different events. We sponsor One World Surgery, which is a group that helps to provide different medical supplies to places in need. My regional director, Carrie Glassman, actually is going to be sponsoring a trip to Honduras soon. But
nice.
we collect crutches. We collected PPE for them, masks and alcohol, sanitizing scrub and cleansers and stuff. And we're trying to help open up clinics for physical therapy in places of need outside of the United States. But so that's one great thing that we're always trying to work with. But in the community, we actually sponsored the Memorial Day weekend soccer tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
right
a
around
huge
the
tournament.
corner from our office.
Duchess Cup.
Just outside here.
Multiple, hundreds of teams from multiple states came, and we sponsored that event, and we also sponsored the Duchess Cup, which is wonderful. We're very glad to support our youth in keeping them both active and healthy.
And we like when our business community supports our community.
Oh, yeah,
It's tremendous. It's a great
100%,
relationship.
100%,
It's a very,
absolutely.
very good community to be in. We're very proud of it.
Oh, I love
the
it.
businesses, the town, the people. It's tremendous.
It is.
So could you talk to us about some insurance? What you guys take? And
Yeah, so Ivy Rehab is like a lot of other practices. We take a number of insurances. So depending on what you have, call us. We'll work with you. If we don't take your insurance, we do offer self-pay options. Sometimes people have both in or out of network benefits. If you call and you speak with our patient coordinators, we'll actually verify your benefits before you come to the session to make sure that you're aware of everything up front so that you're not hit with any surprise costs. Like that's actually a really big deterrent for a lot of people when they go into surgeries and stuff. They're saying, oh, I don't want to get a big bill because so-and-so isn't covered under my insurance. We try to keep the surprises to an absolute minimum, and we're always flexible about working with the patients. So.
Right, and I see, not only do you offer therapy for the larger injuries like the back and the hips and the knees, but hand therapy and things like that nature?
We do. So as of right now, we don't have occupational therapy in this office, but my colleagues and I are very confident in treating fractures, carpal tunnel syndrome. If you have Dupuytren's, we can treat that. Lots of different things. We had patients who come in with elbow, tendinitis. They have tennis elbow or golfer's elbow.
Right.
We use so many different avenues of care, whether it be getting our hands on people for manual reasons, maybe getting their flexibility and their muscle tension back, but we're also getting other different things like their strength, their coordination, their balance, even for their hands. You take for granted that we think our feet are the only things that provide balance, but there are times where you have to be on your hands and knees cleaning a spill up on the floor.
Sure.
And if you don't have upper extremity strength, your face is going to be on the linoleum.
Yeah.
Right.
So we oftentimes do that. We also have different certifications. Lori is certified in kinesiotaping. So sometimes we'll use different things like bracing or taping to help patients along, whether it be for pain or increased muscle activation or such like that. So.
Right, and you make the determination once they're in here and you can see what they're really going on.
We do. I often encourage patients if they call in and they're not sure if physical therapy is right for them, I say stop on by. Come and meet my staff, see the clinic, see if it feels like a good fit for you. We're not a huge clinic. We have a lot of fun here, and we're really there to listen to the patients. And tell us what your needs are, and we'll be honest with you. If we feel like you are not a safe fit for here, we won't mince words about it. I'm very good. I have no reason not to refer someone to somewhere else in the community if I feel that they would be better there.
That's great. And how can they contact you?
They
you have
can
a website?
Yeah, we do have a website. You can visit us at ivyrehab.com. That's IVYrehab.com. Or you can look us up on Facebook. We have an Instagram.
Excellent.
You can call my front desk and talk with Cindy, my patient coordinator. Our number is 845-897-0170. And we'll try to get you in as soon as we possibly can. We work hard to get our patients in. As soon as they call in, it's very commonly you're seen within 1 to 2 days.
That's tremendous.
Yeah,
great.
we really it's important. People are calling because they want to feel better, and it's our job to help them get there.
That's what we like to hear.
Great.
It's
Yeah.
excellent. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've heard so many good things in the community about Ivy Rehab. You got a wonderful reputation. It's so nice to see that we have such a great business in East Fishkill. We're very happy.
Oh, thank you so much. I always tell my patients when they're thanking me and my staff for all the wonderful things that we've done for them, I tell them, well, it takes two. It takes my skills and knowledge to motivate you, but it also takes the hard work that you put in, the blood, sweat, and tears to get yourselves better. So, you know,
Right.
kudos to everybody out there who's
Sure.
been through therapy. They know it's not an easy thing, but we're here for you when you need us. So,
That's great.
wonderful.
yeah,
great.
absolutely.
Well, Heidi, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you
us.
so
We really
much.
appreciate
It
it.
was such a
Continued
pleasure.
success at Ivy.
Thank
It's
you
been
so
tremendous,
much.
and we'll be sure to send people over here.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank
really
you
a
so
pleasure.
very much.
Thank you so much,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Take care.
That's great to see a physical therapy working so well in our community. And now we're on to RedTail Yoga.
Let's go.
And here we are on Route 82 in Hopewell Junction at RedTail Yoga. Let's go on and check it out.
Let's go. Downward dog time.
And here we are at RedTail Power Yoga with the owner, Maureen. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Thanks for having us. This is a beautiful, beautiful facility you have here. How'd you get started?
I taught yoga all over the Hudson Valley in Connecticut for several years. And I started to mentor teachers. And I needed a space of my own. I was teaching at friends and lots of different yoga studios for a very long time. And so, believe it or not, I was going to make a space in my barn at my home. And I was just meant to be here in the village of Hopewell Junction.
That's great. I'd love to have you here.
Yeah, so we're super happy to be here.
That's excellent.
So, how long have you been here? When was the first time you opened?
We opened in February of 2018, and so we've been here just over 3 years.
And how's the clientele been? Everybody been good, or?
It's so beautiful.
Yep.
It is the warmest community. They're just so supportive of each other and of any teachers that are being trained at the same time, because every teacher here is trained here by me and each other. And so there's a real cohesiveness. And that really shows up in the people who come, in the community. They show up really in support of each other in the same way.
That's great. We always brag about our community, and you know, we like to say that East Fishkill is a great place to live, and I always say it's a great place to live because we have great people who live here. So,
Absolutely.
So on small businesses like yourself, helping and bringing all of that people out, that's just tremendous, and we're really happy about that. So let me ask you about, you know, right now we're coming out of the pandemic, finally. What was it like for you during the pandemic and yoga?
It was walking the talk.
Really?
For
Explain.
sure. It was the principles we practice on the mat of non-harming, non-attachment, really looking at being a stand for that, and being a stand for keeping my community and my teachers engaged and healthy so that they can be out in their lives doing what they need to do.
Right.
So straight away, it was how can we serve? And if I have to physically close my doors to this beautiful place that had been open just 2 years, we had just had our
yeah.
2-year birthday, we went live stream. And thankfully,
Very good.
I was already a live stream teacher. We would do live from RedTail Power Yoga once a week for a colleague of mine who had an interactive website. And so in 2 hours' time, when we had to shut these doors, we had all the classes up and running on live stream.
That's excellent.
That is really, really
Yeah.
good. Within 2 hours, that's tremendous.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask one question for two really physically fit guys like the supervisor and myself. Could you just explain in layman's terms, what is yoga?
Good question. So the word yoga means to yoke. So to bring back two things. So our physicality, to bring you back into contact with this physical space that is our home for this life. And so union, yoga, is to bring you back in home to you. To bring you to you, not to me, not to who you were 2 years ago, or who you'll be next week.
But to myself.
Right now, this breath, these feet, where they are, what is possible in this body. Not in 10 years ago body, this one right here, where it is perfect, strong, and whole.
So not only does it help your mental state, but it also helps your physical state. So if there's people who have some sort of physical ailments, this also helps them, correct?
Absolutely. This yoga is for everyone. And interesting that the word power, right? Everyone's like, you guys even were like, oh, power yoga. So it's intentional that I have the word power in there. So it is that we all are inherently powerful. Even if I have a best friend of mine who has no legs, he's a veteran, and he teaches yoga.
Really? That is great.
Yeah, so we all have that power. And in this studio, we like to even call it variation. So it's not like there's no levels of yoga here. There's just you, do you, and we'll support you in where can you be strong, exactly where you are. Nothing to achieve.
That's great.
Very, very inspirational.
So I see you have a beautiful hall in here, a little workout place. Could you show us around?
Happy to.
right.
Happy to. Come on in.
Maureen, beautiful studio you have here. So tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so this is the studio, and this is where we practice the yoga classes. We have 6. Oh, actually, we added more. We have 8. 8 infrared radiant heat TERS. And there's amazing health benefits to infrared and radiant heat. So it heats the things, not the air. Wow. So it's like practicing in the sunshine. Because the external heat is not hot yoga. A lot of people think it's hot yoga in here. It's heated yoga. It's heated vinyasa yoga. So you start in a warm room, and then as you practice, it heats you. The practice makes kind of like an inside out kind of heat. But we start in a warm room so that your body wants to open up. It wants to detox. Sweat is good for your soul. You get rid of what you don't need. Drink lots of water to replenish with what is good for you. So that's what these are, state-of-the-art infrared radiant heats, and yoga blocks for the convenience of our students. My husband actually designed that little drawing rack. I'm really proud
So
of it.
what are the yoga blocks used for? Do you stand on them? How do you utilize them?
So as we were talking about, yoga's for everyone. And there are no, we all have our a little help. And so that's the yoga block. If my fingers don't reach the ground, what did you learn about yoga? Yoga's about touching your toes. You know that famous quote, it's not about touching your toes, but what did you learn on the way down? I learned that I couldn't touch my toes, and it was okay. And so the blocks will help me. They just bring the floor up to me, and then I have the blocks as support.
Nice.
And so if my toes aren't there today, I left them in the car or something, then I have the blocks available to give me a boost.
And how long is a typical class?
I'd say 75 minutes is the typical class. We have classes that are an hour. We have our signature class on Sunday morning that's 90 minutes.
Wow.
And then we have a 6 a.m. that's 45 minutes. Get in, get out, get to work.
Yes.
Wow.
Power up. For
Power up.
For the day.
Sweat up for the rest of the day. That's
excellent.
great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So Maureen, let me ask about your clientele. Do you only do exclusively adults, or can kids join as well in your yoga class?
We have a Power Kids program. So in a regular yoga class, it's an adult class, and you would have to be 16 or older.
Okay.
And if you are not 18, the parent has to walk you in and physically sign the waiver in person. But the kids program is really fun. I usually will do a 6 weeks on, and then they have like a series. And then they re-up for another 6 weeks. It's just so great to see the kids. The mindfulness is just a natural way for them. For us adults, it's a returning back to that,
Right.
that innocence, that joy that we were when we were young. And now it's really fun because a lot of my kids have grown and now they're going to middle school. So I'm looking to evolve the program into the next level.
Oh, that's
for
great.
them,
That's
to
really
some
good.
tweens.
Keep them around, right?
Keep them going, keep them healthy.
Good, good.
That's excellent. So Maureen, let me ask you, I've never done yoga, and I'm sure other people haven't, and they want to try it. So you'll be in a class with people who know what they're doing. What about somebody like me who comes and I don't know what to do?
Exactly, that's perfect. Because you will be inspired by the people around you. The instructors here, we watch you. We won't necessarily throw a mat down and demonstrate. We'll go with you. We'll see you. We'll teach you to breathe, where to put your hands, because we're watching you the whole time. And wherever you are, you're perfect. Your union, your yoga, you're joining back to your physical space. And whatever that looks like for your first class is absolutely perfect. And the truth is, you will also be an inspiration to others, because you're beginning something brand new.
So if anybody has back problems, or I've had 2 hip replacements, I shouldn't have any inhibitions about coming then?
Absolutely not. Everyone in life, the human vessel, everyone has their own variation. And you'll be fully supported here to let us know about any limitations you feel you have.
Gotcha.
And then we'll give you access to strength from that place.
Excellent.
That's
And
great.
I hear you speaking about your teachers all the time. How many do you have?
Well, we have 6 now.
Wow.
And,
Wow, excellent.
and they're amazing, amazing. It's what's unique here in this studio is that every teacher is trained here. And so you come in and you will have a cohesive experience. We work as a team. So very often we're always in each other's classes. I'll be practicing next to you in one of their classes. They'll be practicing next to you in one of my classes.
Very nice.
So it's a very cohesive experience.
Excellent.
That sounds great and incredibly welcoming too,
Very much.
which is really nice. We got to express this to to Councilman Cassidy. Maybe we can get him over here one day.
That would be wonderful to say.
Yes.
Yes,
Love that.
excellent. So Maureen, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. So if somebody wants to find you, do you have a Facebook page? Do you have a web page?
We have all of that.
Excellent.
Instagram, website, and Facebook as well.
And the website is?
It's redtailpoweryoga.com.
Okay.
And then everything on Instagram and Facebook is the same, RedTail Power Yoga.
Great.
Great.
Keep the power in there.
Keep
Yes,
the power
we
there.
will.
And what's the phone
Intention.
number?
Oh, 845-605-2257.
Excellent.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. This was a great learning experience for us, certainly, and we'd definitely
Absolutely.
want to come and check it out.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. Really.
Yeah,
so
we
terrific.
wish you the
happy.
best of
Best
luck.
of
You
luck.
have a beautiful
Absolutely.
place. Thank you for having
you.
us.
Thank you for coming. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Taking Care of Business.
And until next time, we'll see you again. Take care, everyone.
Take care.